Welcome back to another episode of the podcast, everyone. I'm Alex, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Sophia. How are you feeling today, Sophia?
Hey, Alex. I'm doing fantastic, thank you. I've got my oversized coffee cup right here, full of energy. How about you, Alex?
Well, honestly, I couldn't be better. Today we have a topic that I know a lot of our listeners have been dying to hear about. Whether you're an English learner tuning in from somewhere in Asia, or an expat trying to decide where to settle down in Taiwan, this episode is tailor-made for you.
Oh, absolutely! Today, we are taking a deep dive into a dynamic contrast that defines Taiwan, Taipei versus Kaohsiung. But hey, right off the bat, let's make one thing crystal clear to everyone listening. This is not a battle. We are not here to crown one city as superior and declare the other a loser. Absolutely not.
Exactly, Sophia. It's not a competition. It's a conversation between two completely different living philosophies. We are literally comparing the 25 degrees north latitude hyper-efficient sprint with the 22 degrees north maritime romance. It's about how two distinct urban environments shape human psychology, culture, and lifestyle.
Wow, Alex. Hyper-efficient sprint versus maritime romance. Look at you using all those poetic words today. Did you wake up reading literature this morning?
Haha. Well, you know me. When I get passionate about urban culture, I can't help it. But seriously, let's paint a vivid picture for our listeners first. Let's start with the spatial psychology and the sheer rhythm of these two places. Sophia, if you close your eyes and picture Taipei main station during the peak morning rush hour, what's the very first image that pops into your head?
Oh man, it's a total sea of motion. Thousands of people moving through the underground transfer channels in absolute seamless unison. It's almost like a synchronized dance, except nobody is talking and everyone is moving at maximum velocity. You step onto the MRT escalator, everybody instinctively stands on the right side, leaving the left side open for fast walkers. If you stop abruptly in the middle of a walkway, you feel like you're breaking an unspoken law of the universe.
Haha, that is so true. That unspoken agreement is what defines Taipei's rhythm. The word I like to use here is hyper-efficient. Let's spell that out for our language learners. Hyper, hyper, which means extreme or over, combined with efficient. Taipei's urban tempo is sculpted by subterranean, underground spaces and rail networks. It's a city designed for movement.
And you know what's fascinating about that? That physical design shapes human psychology. Because the city is high density, compact, and packed with narrow alleyways, Taipei residents have developed a strong sense of personal boundaries. People are extremely polite, but there's a polite distance. People are constantly mindful of personal space, or as we say in modern terms, they try not to be a nuisance or add trouble to others.
That's a great point, Sophia. In Taipei, because the exterior world is so fast and packed, people look inward for comfort and sophistication. Think about how people live there. You might have a tiny, compact apartment, but down a quiet, narrow alley, you find this incredibly exquisite, tiny independent cafe that seats only 6 people, serving world-class hand-drip coffee. Taipei people find luxury in microspaces and subtle details.
Exactly. Now, if you're a foreigner stepping into Taipei for the first time, what's that psychological experience like? Well, on one hand, it can feel a little high pressure or fast-paced. You feel like you constantly need to hurry up. But on the other hand, man, the sense of security is mind-blowing. The public transit is ridiculously reliable, streets are safe at 3 a.m., and everything you could ever need is within a 3-minute walk to a convenience store.
Oh, 100%. But now, Sophia, let's take a magical teleportation portal and instantly jump 300 kilometers south to Kaohsiung. What happens the moment you step off the train or plane in Kaohsiung.
Your entire nervous system just lets out a giant sigh of relief. Suddenly, the physical world opens up. Kaohsiung isn't built around tight underground networks. It expands horizontally. You have massive, wide avenues arranged in a spacious grid system, lined with palm trees and flooded with that intense, beautiful South Taiwan sunshine.
Yes, the sun down south is no joke, right? And because the physical space is so broad, your mental space expands too. Time honestly feels like it slows down. People aren't checking their watches every 5 seconds or sprinting up escalators. The word to describe this southern rhythm is unwind. Let's break that down for our learners. UNWIND. Unwind. It means to relax, to loosen up after being tight or stressed. In Kaohsiung, you literally learn how to drop your anxiety and just breathe.
And let's talk about the human warmth in Kaohsiung. In Taipei, you get polite urban boundaries. In Kaohsiung, people are what we call straightforward and generous, or in local terms, very high pie. It's an open-hearted, unfiltered hospitality. Alex, I know you have a great story about getting lost in Kaohsiung, right?
Oh, absolutely. A few years ago, I was looking for a specific old-school breakfast spot near the port. I pulled over to ask an older local gentleman, an APAC on a vintage scooter, for directions. In Taipei, someone would politely pull out Google Maps or point left and right. But this guy, in Kaohsiung, he looked at me, smiled, revved his scooter engine, and said, "Follow me, son. It's too complicated to explain. I'll just drive you there." He literally escorted me 5 blocks just to make sure I got my steamed buns.
Haha, that is classic Kaohsiung. That hospitality isn't just accidental, by the way. It comes directly from Kaohsiung's history as a massive international port city. For generations, the people of Kaohsiung have welcomed ocean-faring sailors, traders, and workers from all corners of the globe. Harbor cultures develop a natural tolerance, openness, and big-hearted acceptance because they are used to seeing the whole world pass through their docks.
Man, that is such a great insight. So while Taipei teaches you how to push yourself and strive for perfection in a tight space, Kaohsiung teaches you how to reclaim your freedom, let down your guard, and feel a deep sense of belonging.
Absolutely. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the cultural DNA and aesthetic identity of these two cities. Where does each city store its soul? Alex, let's start with Taipei. Where do you go when you want to feel the artistic heartbeat of Taipei?
For me, it has to be places like Songshan Cultural and Creative Park or Huashan 1914 Creative Park. What's amazing about these spots is their historical layers. Songshan was originally an old Japanese-era tobacco factory, and Huashan was a state-owned winery. But today, they have been lovingly reshaped into centers of quiet cultural depth.
And what is the aesthetic vibe there? The keywords here are subtle and refined. Let me spell subtle for our listeners because the pronunciation can be tricky. S-U-B-T-L-E. The B is silent. Subtle means quiet, delicate, not loud or screaming for attention. Refined means polished and high quality.
Yes. When you walk through Huashan or Songshan, you see quiet independent design boutiques, pop-up art exhibitions, curated indie bookstores, and specialty espresso bars. The architecture preserves the old mossy brick walls and Japanese wooden beams while embedding sleek modern steel and glass inside. It's quiet, contemplative, and rational. It reflects Taipei's core character, thoughtful, cultured, and seeking an elegant balance between history and contemporary lifestyle.
That is such a contrast to Kaohsiung's cultural base, isn't it? If Taipei's cultural soul is quiet and introspective, Kaohsiung's cultural soul is loud, wild, and incredibly energetic. Where do we see that in Kaohsiung, Alex?
Oh, hands down, at the pier, 2 Art Center and the Kaohsiung Music Center, right along the ocean front. Pier 2 took old abandoned port warehouses and turned them into a massive outdoor canvas. You have giant steel sculptures, multi-story graffiti murals, and open lawns right next to giant container ships passing by.
And right next door, sitting on the water, is the Kaohsiung Music Center, or KMC. The architecture looks like giant futuristic ocean waves or coral structures made of white steel and glass. The aesthetic vibe here isn't subtle, it's bold, raw, and unfiltered. It's like a mix of Taiwanese cyberpunk and harbor vitality.
Exactly. I mean, think about the famous Megaport Music Festival held right there. You have thousands of young people standing by the harbor breeze, holding cold drinks, rocking out to heavy metal, indie rock, and Taiwanese folk punk music, while ocean freight ships sail past in the background. That raw energy takes the heavy industrial history of Kaohsiung, the steel mills, the shipbuilding yards, and transforms that heavy burden into explosive, uninhibited contemporary art.
I love that phrasing, transforming industrial weight into artistic energy. Kaohsiung isn't trying to hide its industrial past or pretend to be overly delicate. It wears its history proudly on its sleeve, saying, "This is who we are, raw, strong, real, and passionate."
Right. So, Sophia, let me throw a practical question at you. Imagine a foreign friend comes up to us and says, "Hey guys, I'm moving to Taiwan for work or study, and I can't decide whether to live in Taipei or Kaohsiung. How do I choose?" How would we guide them through this choice?
Ooh, I love this game. Let's break this down into 4 specific dimensions for our listeners: life core, climate, social dynamics, and soul sanctuaries.
Perfect. Dimension number 1, life core. What are you prioritizing in your current chapter of life? If your core focus is rapid career advancement, networking with international corporations, high-end cultural events, and constant professional challenge, Taipei is undeniably the place to be. It's the engine of global business in Taiwan.
But if your life core right now is focused on living space, outdoor recreation, slow living, and having a high quality of daily life for a fraction of the cost, Kaohsiung is an absolute dream come true. You can rent a spacious apartment with a balcony and an ocean view in Kaohsiung for the price of a tiny studio basement in Taipei.
Haha, so true, and painfully accurate. Dimension number 2, climate and mood. Taipei sits inside a mountain basin. That means in the winter and spring, you get misty, drizzly weather. It's rainy, poetic, and has a melancholic British feel to it. If you love wearing long coats, sipping hot lattes in a quiet cafe while listening to rain patter on the window, Taipei's mood is perfect for you.
But if rainy days make you feel blue and you need sunlight to function, Kaohsiung is your California. Kaohsiung boasts sunny skies almost year-round. It's warm, bright, tropical, and energizing. You can wear shorts and t-shirts almost 9 months out of the year.
Dimension number 3, social dynamics and personal relationships. In Taipei, people respect your privacy immensely. Relationships are polite, structured, and mindful. It takes time to get into someone's inner circle, but once you do, those friendships are deep and lasting. It's ideal for people who value personal space and quiet respect.
Whereas in Kaohsiung, social barriers break down fast. People are warm, hospitable, and direct. You go down to a local night market, order some snacks, and the stall owner will literally start chatting with you like your long-lost family. It's fantastic if you love immediate connection, lively outdoor gatherings, and casual banter.
And finally, dimension number 4. Where do you go for your soul sanctuary? When you're stressed out on a Tuesday night and need to recharge your spirit, where do you head? In Taipei, your soul sanctuary is tucked away in a quiet alley, maybe a 24-hour indie bookstore surrounded by wood and paper, or a midnight coffee bar playing soft jazz.
And in Kaohsiung, your soul sanctuary is outdoors. It's sitting on the concrete seawall at Siziwan, feeling the ocean breeze on your face, watching the golden sun sink into the Taiwan Strait, or taking a quick 5-minute ferry ride over to Sijin Island to grab fresh seafood and cold drinks at an open-air beach bar.
Man, just describing that Sizihuan sunset gives me goosebumps. I can almost smell the salty sea air right now.
Me too. But you know, Alex, as we talk through all these contrasts, it really brings us to a bigger realization, doesn't it?
It really does, Sophia. When you look at the big picture, Taipei and Kaohsiung are not in opposition. They are two halves of a whole. They complement each other in the most beautiful way imaginable.
Exactly. Taipei provides Taiwan with its backbone, its ambition, its speed, and its strong bridge to the global economy. It shows the world how hyper-efficient, organized, and sophisticated this island can be.
And Kaohsiung gives the island its heart, its wide-open warmth, its resilience, and its steady, grounded heartbeat. It reminds us that no matter how fast the world moves, we need space to breathe, connect, and enjoy the simple pleasure of a sunny afternoon by the sea.
One city teaches us how to run towards our dreams, and the other city teaches us how to slow down and cherish the life we're living right now. Taiwan wouldn't be complete without both of them.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Sophia. Well, everyone, that brings us to the end of today's deep dive. We hope this conversation gave you a whole new perspective on Taiwan's urban soul, as well as some great new vocabulary words like hyper-efficient, unwind, subtle, and refined.
Before we sign off, we want to hear from you. Which city matches your personal living philosophy more? Are you Team Taipei efficiency or Team Kaohsiung romance? Drop a comment or send us a message.
Thanks for hanging out with us today, everyone. Keep practicing your English, keep exploring new cultures, and we will see you in the next episode.
Until next time, take care and stay awesome. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.